Archie's Madhouse, issue 63. Sabrina says with a history book that with her special brew, she can go back into history and be anyone, like Marie Antoinette. She's doing this because she's just that bored. She's actually successful, but then she uses magic to give herself a mini hoop skirt to be the world's first mod queen. Isn't it obvious that she'd have to stick to the fashion of the time period to avoid being mistreated? She'd stick out like a sore thumb. She's told to run by someone calling her a mistress because a mob is coming to take her away, because it's the French Revolution. At least it's explained that Sabrina forgot to read the next page in the history book. She could easily just point and make the mob happy with magic. But instead she drinks a brew that wasn't in her hands in the earlier panels, and gets sent back to the future. Then she decides to become Pocahontas. This comic has become nothing but the same thing over and over, but it's disguising itself because it's done a different way every time. But it's hard to get excited and motivated enough to review it because I always know what I'm gonna get, Sabrina being impossibly incompetent. You'd think she'd learn at some point. She tells some native women that they're being exploited and the men should take turns carrying the papooses. She says that men shouldn't get to have all the fun. I get why she's doing this because she's trying to help, even though it's obvious that she would just get in trouble. Just like that, a woman agrees and says the girls want a new deal. So a guy speaking stereotypical broken English says that Pocahontas is causing problems, and the chief decides to substitute Pocahontas for John Smith, rather than just killing both, realistically. Also, why is this guy speaking broken English? None of these natives would be speaking English to begin with. Why would this guy suddenly start speaking English to his chief, just to be bad at it? All of them would be speaking a Native American language. They'd question that Sabrina speaking English. And if this was being historically accurate, they wouldn't think she's Pocahontas because she's not 12. But I can understand Sabrina getting in trouble when she was trying to help. Sabrina gets threatened and goes back to the future right in front of them. Isn't she changing history a little? Is she possessing the bodies of these people just to make them disappear forever, prematurely ending their lives? I guess that's not literally what's happening, and instead she's just being mistaken for that person, while that person actually exists somewhere. She says that her mistake was in trying to be someone different, and this time she'll stick to her own kind. No, her mistake was trying to be someone who's going to be executed. Her mistake was going to an older time period where she could get in trouble really easily. She says she'll be Hester, the most famous witch of colonial America. If she's famous, why have I never heard of her? That's just how it is on her planet. And she looks like a girl despite the name looking like a guy name. She goes to Salem and somehow expects the crowd of people to want her autograph. What was she thinking? Why did she say lose our head? So she has to disappear again. What a waste of a page. I guess she knows she'd feel uncomfortable with brainwashing people into liking her. So she feels better about giving up on vacationing in the past entirely and going home, even though that abandons what she wanted to do. She says that after all those close calls, she's fed up with history, and throws the history books in the trash can, saying she never wants to see another history book, even though she should know that she needs them for school. How stupid can she get? It's smart of her to decide not to time travel anymore, but other than that. Then she gets infatuated by a new boy in her history class. So when he asks her to help out with his history homework, she takes the books out of the trash. Thankfully, the story cuts ahead and he thanks her, rather than her grossing him out by pulling books out of the trash that turn out to have gross up on them now, like a banana peel. I guess he asked her why she threw them in the trash off screen, and she had to lie to him that she was just tired of history class. But then wouldn't he go to someone else for help with his homework? I guess he just wanted to spend time with her because he had a crush on her. He says they'll have to see a lot more of each other, and the story ends with Sabrina liking history after all. At least there was a happy ending for her with no strings attached. It's sad when this is rare. This story frustrated me by having Sabrina constantly go back in time and make huge mistakes. At least it was explained that the reason she didn't know that Marie Antoinette was executed by her people was that she didn't read the next page of the history book. Still, you think it'd be common sense to read all the person's history first. The only thing I know her for is that, so it makes Sabrina look very stupid. But it is justified. I don't know why she thought it was smart to go to Salem as a witch. At least it makes sense that she was trying to get the girls a better deal as Pocahontas. Even though it was obvious that she'd get in trouble for it, it made sense that she was trying to do the right thing. So while she was being stupid, it was at least justified for the most part. In Madhouse issue 65, we see two old women near Sabrina when she's dancing. One of them's Hilda, and I can only guess that the one in the cloak is Zelda, who complains about an electric dress. Hilda says right in front of a guy that she thinks young witches like Sabrina go too far. Hilda says they seem to be having more fun, being open-minded. So she says she'll turn on too, with a neon tube for a broom handle. Then in Madhouse Mad Jokes 70, someone says he's gonna test Sabrina and another witch to see who has the stronger powers. He's gonna flip a coin and see who can influence it the most. It turns out they're equally powerful because it lands on its side. Won't every witch be equally powerful? I know Sabrina was probably a half-witch even in the 70s. Are they both half-witches? I could believe that half-witches are less powerful, but other than that, what's supposed to make one witch more powerful than the others? Larger midichlorian count?